You guys were waiting for me.
When we last left off, you guys had managed to return to the ship, discovered that several of the sailors had gotten lost or hadn't come back when they were supposed to with provisions from the jungle. Managed to follow their trail because you have a clever ranger in your party, and discovered an old hatch in the ground. You opened it up. You went inside and discovered um uh, yeah, and discovered a bunch of rooms, but you also managed to find a trail and apparently dirt that had gotten pulled in there. Uh, at some point, you encountered a group of really big ants that swarmed up on you. Thankfully, you had someone clever who was able to distract a bunch of them with a hypnotic pattern, and you were able to pick them off one at a time. You found a way down further from there and discovered that there is a vast underground cavern with a lot of buildings in it, and you were apparently on the top floor of one of the tallest of them. And there was some kind of ladder or something extending downward from there that you're able to travel. You scryed on the sailors and discovered that they were still alive and that they were in the largest building in the middle of whatever this city is, having been dragged there by the ants. And you guys are currently covered in bits of ant goop.
And I'm
Ew.
riding an ant.
Wait,
That's right. One of you turned into an ant.
Yes,
and
I'm an
is,
ant. I'm a
with
giant
Char,
ant.
and is heading directly looking for the nest.
Yep.
Are all of you heading looking for the nest, or just the two of you?
They were like forwarding scouts, weren't they? Or did we follow them?
I figured all of us were joining, or all of us were going.
Yeah,
we
I think
were
we
all-
just
I don't think
follow.
we're all-
Yeah, I think we were all following the ant who used the four months to search out the nests.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, because
you want to see how deep this thing goes.
as an ant char, you're able to detect that your companions are all covered in the pheromone that is generated when ants die violently, also known as the alarm pheromone. The pheromone that usually drives them away, unless it happens to intersect with the home pheromone, at which point they can go berserk. And you're currently following the home trail / food trail smells that the pheromones. Jesse, there's a lot of noises coming from your direction. And thank you. You're currently following towards the home trail / intersecting food trails that you're picking up in terms of the pheromones. That most likely the ladder up there led to a pretty significant food smell. That's where the ants were converging.
Yep, just gonna keep following the path to home.
All right. And the rest of you, are you completely following them, or are you looking at anything
Hold
else
up.
in the area?
You said this doesn't go deeper.
You seem to be
We were like
at the bottom of of this vast underground cavern. Yes.
Shit, guys. Looks like that we're all out of luck. Guess it's time to go back up top.
Aren't we supposed to?
We're trying to get the crew members back. Remember?
Shit, we lost crew members.
3 of them apparently took a bit of a stroll.
And so then the people are saying that 3 of them might have came here.
They're in the center of town.
Why are we in an anthill?
They made it out of this town.
It's a
Underground.
long forgotten underground city.
Yes.
They were supposed to be just foraging for food, and decided to go down a trapdoor
And become food.
and become food.
And now they're somewhere in an ant's nest.
That's why we're coming up That's where we're leading off with.
Yeah, we're just gonna go and follow the ant on our side that is also Char.
The main thing, Pink, is not to freak out. There's no need to make a mountain out of an anthill.
Oh god.
Okay, I understand you.
We're just
We
gonna
know that
squash some
there's-
ants and save some idiots.
Aren't those idiots dead though?
Not last time Aminet heard from them.
I squared on them and they were alive. That's how we found out that they were in the center of the city.
Okay.
All right. Everyone roll me perception checks.
What was that?
Testing.
Okay.
Everyone, please roll me perception checks.
Yay! Oh wait, I'm Char.
And you're pretty focused on the trail in front of you, Char. As you guys are passing, you're passing a lot of small buildings. Most of them, like some of them have doors that are that are like open. Some have like some sort of weird sealant on them. Others appear to have mounds of dirt, indicating maybe some of the ants have been, using them. Kurt, you happen to spy between a couple of them and see into one that has a normal looking door attached to it, which is kind of odd considering that there are no other normal looking doors in the area.
When you say normal looking door, like all the other doors are just gone.
They're either gone or they're made of, or there's something, or it's like metal that's just over the door. This one looks like it's been crafted of wood
Hmm.
and just placed in to shield an entrance.
That door over there looks different from the others.
So what
I
you're
wonder
saying
why.
is that we should go look at it?
No, I'm basically just pointing out that amongst all the doors down here, this one is the only one I've seen that's made of wood.
I'm gonna try and use my mage hands to open the door.
You okay? So you're stopping and you're going away from the from the trail that Char is currently forging to go in between some of the buildings and open the door.
I mean, how far away is it?
It's about 100 feet away.
It's a hell of a spot by me.
Sure. I'll do that, but I'll try to be stealthy about it.
Can Kurt kind of stay halfway between the
Sure.
group and him? So like he'll go 50 feet.
I mean, what's the reach on mage hand again? I can get there in one turn, so
Okay. Char, do you continue on or do
I'll-
you stop realizing that your companions are
Once
stopping?
once they start to veer off, I'll stop.
Okay.
No sense in keep going while others are busy
So
doing
there's
something else.
a wooden door somewhere outside the range of the home trail. Looks like the ants don't get too near that.
Well, this ant is.
So what are you doing, Clay?
I'm like move, bonus action dash, and then mage hand the door open.
You hear some jiggle, jiggle, jiggle. It feels like it's possibly latched or locked. There might be a crossbar down on the other side.
I'll knock.
Knock, knock, knock. No response.
Does it look like that we could bash it down?
It's made of wood.
They might have
And he
hidden
used
here.
mage hand to try to open it?
Yes, he did.
Okay.
Yeah, it's locked. I can. Is there an entrance on a higher floor?
No,
Actually-
this looks like it's just a low building of some kind. Kind of small, maybe like a small house or maybe even a small storage space. with no other entrance or exits. Just
What
some
were
tiny
they-
holes near the top, probably for air.
What were they made out of again?
They're made out of some strange metal. This
Oh.
one happens to have a wooden door.
I actually have a quick question.
Mhm.
With said door, would Clay have, or would we have seen that it was locked when he messed with it, or
You would
or
have seen that
Char-
the door the mage hand didn't open it.
I'll get off of Char's back and try the door because I have an idea. You said it feels latched.
Yeah, it feels like it's latched on the other side.
Yes.
I'd like if you have a door frame, with the hinge on one side, what would in our world be a doorknob on the other? Can I conjure
AKA
my
trying to
mage
break.
hand?
What are you conjuring?
Can I conjure up my mage hand on the other side of the door and almost drag it up what would be the
Do you-
doorknob
Like a
side? and see if
hook.
I
Do
can
you
lift
have
the
to
latch?
do you have to see what you're looking at to conjure your mage hand?
Really? Because it just says a point you
No,
choose.
no. I'm asking that as in terms of the spell. Does it say you have to see what in order to cast it?
No, just a point you choose.
All right then.
But I also wanted your ruling because I know it's a bit of a
and
weird rule.
that's why I was looking at that and making sure it doesn't specify that you have to see where it goes, because some spells do specify that just so that the GM can say no every time, whereas this is
Mhm.
definitely a GM's ruling, and my GM's
Mhm.
ruling is that you have an idea that this is a door, you have a general idea of how far, how thick it is, or have a good understanding so you can throw your mage hand in there such and such a feat, thinking that there's probably no space in there, and if there some reason is a blockade, that your mage hand would just fail to conjure. But you manage to conjure it, you bring it forward, and it manages to push up the crossbar that's on the inside, keeping it closed.
I'll open the door.
All right.
I'm surprised that worked. Yay.
The other side.
You look inside and you see what was once probably a storage space with various shelves with nothing on it, but it's built into the walls, with some air handling, it was mesh in the ceiling, kind of like the mesh that you found on the floors of the previous location.
Mhm.
However, it looks like at some point, probably within the last 100 years, maybe earlier, a gnome put up a door here, locked it, and eventually passed away on a small mattress that they had set up. The body does definitely look like that of a gnome. It is partially skeletonized, partially mummified, probably from the way of the air, and it's harder to get things in here. There is a pick laying to one side in this room. That's about the only thing that seems to be stored. There is a small book that is sitting up on the one of the shelves, and the body is just laying on a makeshift mattress. And there's
Is
not
the
much in the way of
mattress-
clothes left.
Is there any way that we could look underneath the mattress?
It's flush with the ground.
Okay. You were saying that there was some books?
There was a leather-bound book.
And just to confirm, if I may, to build off of his question, when you say flush, does that mean it's been put into a recess, or it's literally fused with the ground?
Oh, flush, as in it's as far back into this location as possible. It's right up against the wall.
Okay.
What about height-wise? It's fought across the ground, right?
It's a mattress that's directly on the ground. It's a gnome body, so
Okay.
it's actually very small.
Okay, can I look at the book, please?
Sure.
Hells yeah.
Handout. Hold on 1 second. Let's see. All right, you now have it in your inventory. These are the pages that have survived. You can choose what to do with that information.
Real quick. what's the word? Where do I find it?
Under handouts.
Journal.
Yep, journal by a body of a gnome.
Hey. Okay. So that's all the text.
That's all the pages that are legible that are left.
Hey guys, what I could read here was a couple of words that seemed interesting.
What did it say?
Well, it says here, ever since we found the ancient city of Hazanot, we have been cursed. I blame that stone we found buried in the ancient hatchery. It changed Director Cynthia. If only we had kept it instead of giving it to the R&D. They have it to the other island because of the facilities. They thought it was a power source. And I suppose it can be used for that way, but I think it was something else, given the changes I see in the director. And that's just the second page. Can you give that to somebody? I feel like I've been talking for way too long.
Who would you like to hand the book to?
I'll give it to Kurt.
All right. It's now in
Alright.
your inventory to read, Kurt.
Sure.
Journal
Yeah.
by a body of a gnome.
It's literally just the second part, like the second quotation marks to the other quotation marks.
Sorry, this is just like back in school when they asked us to do reading and then I didn't listen to where we left off. Where were
I
we?
know, right? This is exactly how I feel.
Where were we?
Well, you're the one that wanted to choose the to pick up the book.
He mentioned
Hells
changes
yeah.
to the director and how he's concerned that it's not a power source.
Oh, right. Had to destroy the transport pad. Now no one can get here without a ship, which is hard given the nature of the islands, and no one can leave either. Cynthia and the others are stalking me. She must have used that stone on the weird crystal, on that weird crystal she has, before letting R&D have it. I still don't know what it does, but she has used it to curse the natives. She has stolen their voices to keep her people young.
No.
What I want to know is who is this R&D that they speak of?
R&D.
Rooms on the dungeon?
Sorry, I put short form of research and development in there.
Yep, research
did it-
and development.
I did it without thinking.
Research
my
and
bad.
development. Lol, that's great.
Rats and
Just a little
dandies.
quirk. Rats and dandies, hells yeah.
Arcane Nexus development. And that was a good one. Jerks.
Rectal and dentistry.
Uh,
What was the name of the woman in the mirror?
Oh god, please don't tell me to remember.
out of character, I cannot remember, and I apparently forgot to write it down.
Damn
You
it!
can make an intelligence check to see if you remember.
Hells yeah, intelligence.
I got notes.
I'm so high in intelligence.
Why is it hard to read notes?
Nope.
This is
Oh god, and that one.
How could I be worse than an owl? Oh man.
There's supposed to be me. Oh, Galadriel. Yeah, like the Lord of the Rings elf.
Oh, right. Not her.
Galadriel, yeah. It's actually Galadriel. There's an extra A in there, but
Maybe she's happy. Glad Ariel.
Galadriel? No, that can't be it.
And that's the woman in the mirror that might have no impact.
Has not. We have been cursed.
Hmm.
I'm wondering if
Maybe
that's
see
her.
if we can find anything else in this room to pick us towards the lost people. I mean, at the moment, this book is just telling about a past at the moment. Doesn't really give us some time or an estimated date of when our people have left the ship. Like, we know that our people has been gone for like maybe days.
Are
This stuff's talking way beyond them.
And the body, is it completely skeletonized, or does it look like a desiccated, like
It's
dried mummy?
desiccated, dried mummy because of the
Okay.
environment. I originally wrote it as a skeleton, but then I realized what the environment was like, and go, no, that's definitely mummification at this point.
Things could have found an alternate entrance because they don't need doors if there's a hole somewhere else. That's why I asked. They could have picked it clean over the however long. But thank you. See, I'm concerned it could be Galadriel, but I also think it wouldn't. Because when they're in the mirror, time doesn't pass. So she wouldn't age. And she looked older.
I mean, we don't know how long she's been in there. She might have.
But time
She
doesn't
might-
pass. How can
Yeah,
you
but
age?
she could have been old, and then that would have happened. So could have been a measure to prevent him from aging further. That's why she locked herself up.
Didn't you say that she was tricked into the mirror by some other young woman? Young girl.
She wasn't tricked. She was put in the mirror.
Oh.
The way it was described, I'm uncertain if there was trickery involved.
Last sentence here. She has stolen their voices to keep her people young.
Mm-hmm. The woman in the mirror didn't appear to have any hatred or ill will towards the Silent.
And the Silent also had an inner chamber with the extra murals of the people in red capes arriving by ship.
Those might have been the ones in this book.
But
Could be the note.
these ones appear to have not arrived by ship. Some sort of transport pad.
I mean, didn't they say they broke it?
They did, yes. Had to destroy the transport pad.
Yeah,
now
but
no one can get here without a ship.
True, but like the natives might have misinterpreted a ship. Like, I don't know.
What are the types of ship are there?
I mean, they could have.
Did they arrive by friendship?
No, I'm just saying, like, over things. Like, did you ever play the game like no, it's not called Simon Says? What's it called? Where you whisper something in a circle, and then by the end of the circle, it's something entirely else.
I know that they're silent, but they can't even whisper. You know.
We call it telephone over here.
Yeah, telephone. Like,
I thought he was trying to say it like with a term that would be used in game, like in RP.
Yeah, no, I couldn't come up with the
whisper circle. Circle of whispers.
Sending.
Circle of Whispers, that's canon.
Wow. This fellow right here died probably hiding from this Cynthia.
There's so much mystery here that we don't have time to worry
She
about.
must have used that stone on the weird crystal she has. She must have used that stone on the weird crystal she has before letting R&D have it.
What if the heart crystal is that stone? At one point, they referred to it as the heart stone. They could be one and the same.
On that weird crystal. What crystal?
The thing that the dwarves won, I'm wondering if that is the exact same stone. I'm not sure.
But that's still just one thing. The heartstone. This one mentions a stone and a crystal.
Hmm.
2 things.
I'm uncertain. They mentioned a transport pad. The crystal could be a focus used for that. I'm uncertain though.
Hmm.
I was never good with lasting magic. Instantaneous I could do, but I've always struggled with making anything that lasts longer than a couple of hours.
I mean,
Anyway, interesting find. Should we go and save the idiots?
yeah. I feel like this
Agreed.
is very interesting. But maybe we should come back later.
Here, anyone else want to keep the book?
I'll hold on to it for now.
Here you go.
I will take the book.
It's now under your
Ghost.
handouts.
I was going to be like, let me take the book so I can explore deeper into this meaning.
Hey,
And
I'm perfectly fine with you taking it. I just took it because I'm the bookie one and no one else wanted it.
oh, you're the bookie one. Okay, I'll give you the bookie. I'll give you the bookie, Woogie. You can have the book.
He's our
All
bookie.
right.
What'd you say, Evil?
I said he's our bookie.
Taking bets.
Yep. Who would I first?
Mm,
Ants.
yeah.
Maybe the uncles.
Ants.
So this place is
If he's
called
good-
Headsnot.
If he scams the wrong person, Clay.
Wait, what? I didn't do nothing.
I'm just being a smartass. You're good.
Just wait till I scam you, man. Now you asked for it. I have plans.
I'll be honest. I can't hear you. You're really quiet. Let me make sure you're turned up on my end.
Oh, maybe my mic is too far away. I think this is better.
There we go.
It is. I'm also going to turn you up because you're still just bass. Yeah, as far as like our current goal is concerned, I'm ready to keep moving. We got some people. We got to make sure they're okay. I just have one request from everyone as we go through here. Given the construction, and if there was a settlement of gnomes here, I'm hoping we'll stumble upon some material I can use on my shield. If you see anything that looks like mithril, call it out. I'll snag it up for a later time.
That reminds me, Caladriel, you are a metallurgist type, yes? Because you're talking about the shield and whatnot, or is it just knowledge of mithril?
I know that my shield needs mithril to patch the massive hole in it before I can even begin to try to restore the magic that was removed.
But you're not good with the other substances then.
I could see my limited knowledge of alchemy being able to identify certain things.
Okay.
Like with a chemical reaction, like a chemist
Got
would
it.
identify metal, but
Yeah.
that's all I can really think of. And it would take me hours to, set up my equipment and run those tests.
All right, I was just checking.
Yeah.
So you guys are
Alright, time to
currently
get
gathered
back on
around
the
the
road again.
looking into that small storage area with almost nothing in there. Probably only one or two of you ever went into that room just to look at that book. Now, what are you guys going to do?
Well, the way you said that, now I want to go in and look at the room.
I know, right? It's saying, oh, you just looked at a book, that's it? Like, bro.
Well, the room has mostly empty shells. Well, now fully empty shells because you took the book off of it. There is a pickaxe laying in a corner. There is a dead body that looks like it's been there for a while. Dried up. The garments have disintegrated on basically on what was probably just like a mattress curled up and pushed up into the corner.
Caladra
You took his book.
will actually go and snag that pickaxe and throw it in his bag of holding. He feels drawn
Alright.
to it, almost as if he used one in another life.
I'm trying to think. I think it might actually be heavier than a normal pickaxe. Or I should say, it's not made of the sort of metal, at least, that normal pickaxes are made out of.
He says,
Is it heavier or lighter?
I want to say heavier, but I'm not 100%. All I know is it's not mithril, so it's not lighter.
Okay, cool.
I'm pretty sure that the material it's made out of is a heavier material than iron.
it's a diamond pickaxe.
No.
Up all night to mine diamonds.
It's a wooden pickaxe.
No.
Does it have the curse of
It-
vanishing?
You have seen no evidence
Does
of
it?
this.
Does it float on lava?
I have no idea if it would.
Can it build a portal into the nether?
Can
Does
it be
it force
detected in
divine
castle?
Mount
You
Doom?
know, it might. Except it doesn't exist in Minecraft.
Damn it! It's not a notch pickaxe. Sorry, guys.
Is it on the top of the throat of the world?
You know what? I don't know.
Well, we're underground, so
You know what, Grizz? Neither do we. We don't know.
I heard Evil saying
That-
something, but it got all quiet. What would you like to say, Evil?
And Bryson doesn't see it, so he doesn't know it newer. He's not seen this pickaxe, so he doesn't get a care.
Okay.
So he's just waiting to go.
All right.
Why do I have a pink dot?
Well, I
You're
will check.
concentrating on something. That's why.
Oh, that's right. Because the fucking spell lasts like an hour or so.
Yeah, pink dots means concentration.
Yeah, but the thing is, we looked at this thing because we thought that it was important, but it's not.
Yeah, I will
Maybe
keep
in a
you
longer
posted later.
game.
You've been hanging out here for a couple minutes now.
Okay, let's get back on top.
Let's go.
So
Lead the
you
Witcher.
do see the large building in the center. You also see ants kind of climbing over top of it. They all seem to be heading in one. Most of them seem to be heading into like one direction, basically showing that the entrance to it is probably on the other side of the building from where you currently are. Most of the ants are giving you a wide berth if they're noticing you at all at the current moment. Some of the buildings nearby to this look like they had actually collapsed at some point, which is odd because all the rest of the buildings are in near perfect condition. There's also no, that's right. The ants would have taken that away already. Nearby to this, there's actually several long buildings rather than the more square buildings that you've seen. And you're going around the side of it until finally you spot one basically long is it throughway? Would throughway be the right word? Basically one long
Thoroughfare?
street. Maybe one long street with a lot of buildings with doors opening to that side, where there's one grand entrance to this place with several large ants that seem to be guarding it. A little beyond that is a strange building that seems to be a bit domed, and the dome looks like it's half collapsed, which is again strange sight since most things don't seem to be damaged around here.
Interesting. So where does the trail seem to lead?
Directly into that large building.
And that's me asking to Char.
Oh, sorry.
You're good.
Char,
Yeah.
where do they keep the food? I'm asking where the prisoners are.
Does Char pick up a food scent or something along
You're
those lines?
basically getting the overwhelming home scent going into that place.
No scent of food.
No specific scent of food, but I said the scent of home is overwhelming.
We know they're in the middle building, and they've always said that's what they believe they are.
So should we rush those big ants over there, or should we check out the broken dome? I mean, we could really stir up an ant's nest here.
And if we're unlucky, there will be hornets to boot. And if I may ask, with it being a city and all, does it appear that the city is almost like built to where, like, even with all the high buildings, there are lower buildings on the outskirts, and then they go up just like skyscrapers in the middle? Or do we?
Actually,
can we not
the
tell?
skyscraper type buildings, like the biggest, with the tallest building is the one that you came down. The skyscrapers in this place, for the most part, seem to be more towards the outside, with lower buildings sprinkled like among them for different things, along with some of those weird long buildings that are slightly taller than this the largest building, which is this building you're looking at in the center. And it's large, not in the tall sense, but in the around sense. It's square as well, but it's
Hmm.
but it kind of goes around.
Which makes me
and just past it
wonder
is,
if all the
another
buildings have
building that said is kind of odd for the considering the state of the rest of the buildings, which is that, again, it's more domed and the dome is half collapsed. That also is kind of stands out.
Hmm. Just because I don't want to go wandering around blind. Char, does any trail seem most appealing to you, or is it just kind of overwhelming? One click for you have an idea, 2 clicks for you don't.
What, Chris?
The trail, as I said, for home goes in, and there's no visible food trail, because the home trail is overwhelming everything else.
And Caladro said, what? 1 click for.
1 click if you have an idea, 2 clicks if you don't.
Yeah, okay, 2 clicks.
Can you hear me?
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna hop off now to do some VR. I'm really sorry that I took this time out of your hands, out of the busy DnD, but I want to do some VR.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, this has been a trip, and I probably have multiple different fucking stories for this, but yeah.
So who's taking over Pink for now?
Thank you.
I'll if it's okay, I'll control him for now.
Okay.
I'll keep you alive.
Love you. Thank you.
So, in and out of character, Calendar's going to be thinky, so I can take a second look over his sheet, make sure I know what he does.
The way I see it, we have 2 options. Like you said, we could check the domed area. It is a bit odd, and still partially not collapsed. Or we can start a war with insects.
I mean, couldn't we go check out the Doom area and have Char here go around to the food court? Because I don't think they're gonna attack him, because he's part of the herd, right? So it should be fine. And that way he can look around and see if they're there, and if they're there, he can come get us. And if they're not, they're not. They might have already been eaten,
If something goes wrong,
I mean,
he's all alone in the side of a nest.
Yes, magic. He can turn into a bird. I'm pretty sure they can't attack birds if they're flying, right? Do you have anything to attack birds, Char?
Did you say attack birds?
You do realize that a nest is an enclosed area, and they
Yeah.
climb on ceilings and walls
True, but like there should be like a sweet spot,
and
right?
drop down on top of a bird.
I mean, I guess, but I mean, if
They
I
have the home field
guess,
advantage inside.
yeah, but I mean, I doubt they would attack one of their own without reason, right? It's not like they're. I mean, I don't know how smart these ants are, but I mean, that tactic works on humans sometimes.
It's unless they notice that they're not part. He's not part of the group. We don't know. They've avoided us.
That's fair. Still, I'm not a big fan of going into the ants' nests at all. So I'd say we check out the dome first, then. You know.
I have no opposition either way.
Kurt takes out his warhammer, takes out his shield, and then he just walks towards the dome, taking the lead.
All right.
Also, real quick, just because I
Listening.
cannot remember the little excursion we took throughout the city was not long enough for me to get a quote unquote short rest from my spells. Correct?
Correct. You guys have only been here for like 10, 20 minutes tops.
Figured as much.
Considering some of you
Doesn't-
have hour-long spells that are still functional. So,
Just wanted to make sure. Thank you.
all right. So, approaching the dome. One of the things that you see is a sign in common that looks like it was hung here within the last couple hundred years, probably. That reads hatchery, and another sign underneath that says already exploited, all in common.
Interesting choice of words.
They found that stone that was mentioned in the gnome's book in the hatchery.
Hmm.
Should I just walk in?
Honestly, I'm uncertain.
I mean, I don't. If it's a hatchery for the ants, then I doubt this is where they. Or maybe they keep food near the hatchery. So the little ones can eat the moment they get out.
Definitely possible.
I'll check it out. Kurt goes in.
All right. You see evidence of things scraped out of the walls, but you also see a one side completely that's just a whole bunch of rubble, like all sorts of bits of twisted metal and stone and dirt that have all been piled up. Uh, Inside, you see a lot of weird bins. They all contain the same thing: broken white eggshells that seem positively ancient, like something that has been here for thousands of years, possibly. Um, at least some of them do. There's others that look like they're fresher, but all hatched and or broken.
Being a connoisseur of eggs, can he tell what eggs?
Roll me a nature check with advantage. You carefully examine the shells of the eggs and carefully think back of all recipes you've ever seen and encountered, and think that these eggs, given the shape, were most likely some kind of insect or possibly arachnid in origin, but something large. Not large in the same sense as the ants. Like these would be slightly smaller than giant ant eggs, but definitely like not tiny little insects. We're talking at least the size of a human. after full growth, probably.
And some of these were very old, and some of these are
A bit more
fresher.
recent, like depending on the bin. Some of the bins, they are positively ancient broken eggs. Other bins look like they hatched within the thousands of years. Maybe a 1,000 years ago, maybe a couple hundred years ago. But basically, some of them look like as if each of the bins hatched at different time points. Is basically what you're looking at here.
So Kurt takes one shell, picks it up, looks at it. And did anyone else go in?
Charles would have probably followed. Still as
Obviously,
Ant.
Bryson would have as well, to be fair. He's not really afraid of anything.
All right. Since you're in there, why don't you guys give me
Right.
some investigation checks?
These are not ant eggs.
Best.
Some sort of insect, maybe arachnid.
So, Clay.
Mhm.
Yeah, you still got it in the highest, even if Kurt had rolled a 20. Yeah, as everyone else is gathered around the eggs or poking around here and there, your eye is drawn to the pile of rubble. And you being the fashionista you are, you instantly detect a different color inside the darkness. Not the the metal colors, not the stone colors or the dirt colors. You see a tiny flash of blue somewhere in that pile of rubble.
I pointed out to the rest of people. Guys, do you see that blue as well?
I'll look over.
I'll look over direction point.
You really don't see what he's talking about. His eyes must be keener than yours.
I'll try and pick it up.
All right. So you bend over and you start pushing away dirt away from the object because it's kind of buried.
Mhm.
It's like a tiny punch. You pick it up and you eventually pull out an object that looks a bit familiar because you guys have seen one of these before. It looks like the same. It looks like a blue orb, similar to the pink. Sorry, similar to the orb that Pink has been carrying around. The one that showed a certain vision.
That one.
Again?
What do you do?
Come on, people. The idiots are not here.
I know. Can I try and do what Ping did last time?
Sure. And as you do, the orb glows, and out pops the image of the Catman in armor that has become a bit familiar to you. However, unlike the previous ones that you've seen, this one looks a bit older. And he begins to speak. 83 turns from where he is, and are you guys going to let it play out, or are you going to play it a second time, or what will you do after he speaks?
I mean, what does he say?
He speaks in a language you don't understand.
I'll just won't let it repeat, and then we'll figure it out later.
83 looks like back and forth and says, "Would you like me to tell you what he said?"
Sure.
And 83, in the same voice of the Catman that you were hearing, but now in common, says, "If you've made your way here to the city of Hesnot, I urge you to turn back. Do not touch the Void Stone. I used it to raise an army of Warforged, but it did not save my people. I thought I was the last before, and now I fear it has come true. The stone destroys civilizations. It is a curse, not a power source like the Hesnot people thought. Kadarath used it to summon a chaos god and nearly destroyed the world. The sundering did not destroy the world. The world is still here, just changed. So please, leave it alone. Let it stay buried. And here's a copy for everybody.
Okay. Do you guys? This might have something to do with the thing you guys said about the Demogorgon or something.
The Demogorgon?
Yeah, sure, that was it.
Mm. I know it sounds like it has connection to the book we found earlier. Someone went here and did not let that thing stay buried.
Seems so.
And someone summoned a, what did he call it? Chaos god. Was that perhaps a shadow creature?
It definitely could be. I have a feeling that this place, we might have to return to it at a later date.
Great.
Char makes one clicking.
Now, as I was saying, idiots.
Agreed. Shall we keep wandering?
The stone they're talking about, might it be the stone that the dwarves are looking for?
That's what we're wondering. The heart.
Finger at the silent village.
Possibly. But it might be best for it to, quote unquote, stay buried with people that lack the capability to use it.
I mean, someone else might find this place.
No, as the book said,
Did-
unlikely by ship.
We did.
It's unlikely,
On
though.
accident.
By all rights, we should have drowned.
I mean, yeah, but that doesn't. I mean, if you guys want to leave it here, sure, but I don't know if that's
No,
the
no.
safest place.
That finger there is probably not the item in question. The item in question is already gone, taken by that director Cynthia fellow. Years and years ago. Probably her taking it was what summoned the Chaos God, if that was not something that happened much earlier even. What I'm saying is, what you got there is simply a message from the creator.
Yeah, but the stone is the stone that dwarves had. Probably. That's not this stone, right?
No, probably not. Would be odd.
Yeah, so. I don't know. I think we just. Yeah, we should just go find the sailors and get out, I think.
Yep, get out of here later on and then just take the ship. Or was it, are we taking a dragon?
We're waiting on the ship. There's too many of us for the dragon to take.
Weak dragon. Alright, let's go get the idiots.
Agreed. Right. Roll out, children.
So I guess now we charge the ants. They seem to be holed up in that larger building over there.
I'm thinking, honestly, just carry on or continue. Maybe, maybe at some point Shuttle could contact them again and ask them to keep an ear out. We make a loud noise and they give us a direction.
Yeah,
And provides a sort of dowsing rod.
I'd say we go in, stir up the nest. They're probably gonna try to protect their own hatchery. Perhaps even an ant queen, if there is one. Most likely.
True. But last thing
I'm
I
not
ever want
sure
to
where
be the
they would
food
keep the
for a
food.
terrarium.
Yeah, I'm not sure if where they would keep the food near the hatchery, more away from it.
They definitely want it somewhere defensible. So it needs to be the hub.
Anyway,
Hey,
the ants are over there, and they have the idiots.
hey, Char. I have 3 more answers for you. 1, 2, and 3 clicks. 1, you go and try and talk to an ant, see if they can tell you where the food is. 2, you lead us to where the home scent is strongest, and we hope we find food on the way. 3, those are horrible ideas, and you want someone else to take the lead.
That's just funny. Click.
All right, let's go find an ant and have him ask him where the food is. Though you'll probably have to go alone, considering they're terrified of us.
Okay.
And Charles is gonna go to one of the ants.
And with that, we're going to take a quick bathroom break.
Okay,
Come back
cool.
here in a few minutes.
Yeah, here we
I'm back. So, how are you guys doing?
Good.
That's good.
I am alive as of this moment, so it could definitely be worse.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Welcome back, Shuttle.
Hello.
Welcome back, Char. So we're missing Evil and Tobias. Hey, Vax. How you doing, little guy? Vax, that's just a piece of my of my microphone cord. That's not a toy.
What's microphone corn?
Cord.
I know.
Everyone is quiet today.
So, is everyone back?
No, we're still waiting on Evil. And Tobias. We're missing 2 people.
Okay.
So it looks like the only person we're still waiting for is Evil.
Hope he's all right.
Yeah. Welcome back. Is everyone ready to
Nice
continue?
timing.
If everyone's back.
Alrighty.
Mhm.
So Char, as a giant ant, is going to attempt to infiltrate the nest.
I roll to seduce.
Well, remember, ants are ant workers and such are all asexual, so they don't
I know.
actually have the ability to do so.
I know. I just knew it'd be funny to say.
Char's just gonna go in and try and find out where the hell they're hiding. Bloody.
I mean, my guess is they've been eaten. You might get them back to Trophalexis, but that's about it.
Fun times. So, what is your plan for doing this, Char? Walk me through it. What would you like to do?
Well, first off, I need a valid reason to be looking for where to store food. So, first things first. Before I reach the other ants, I need food to have food with me. So that's step one: is find food among party. We must have some food.
Just pick up Kurt.
What to say? You'd probably smell the strongest odors of food around Kurt.
If anything smells like food, it's Kurt.
Yeah. So the first thing is go up to Kurt and sort of try and convey that I need food by making an eating gesture or trying to
And
symbol
Kurt, who's proficient
hungry.
in seeing people who are hungry.
You're proficient.
Yes.
Oh, I would agree. He's proficient. He's the chef.
But is he proficient in seeing and hungry?
Hunger is hunger.
Let's see. I think currently all the meat is in Aminet's bag of clothing.
Which unfortunately you wouldn't be able to smell for. Because the bag of clothing is.
Yeah, but Kurt could get some meat out of the bag of clothing.
What do you say, Aminette?
Kurt just doesn't know what's in the bag of clothing. He's put a lot of things in there, but
To be AFK.
Well, she
No,
said
I
she.
have the,
there
I have
she
the
is.
double mute on. What do you
double
want?
mute. Meat for the ant. Maybe a full carcass if we have one.
Still staring at Emunet now.
We have 15 and 20 pounds of death dog meat. You made all the shark meat into stew.
Yes. It was good.
Frog hemoth. She'll throw you some frog hemoth. We have
Alright.
one disassembled frog hemoth, however much that is.
Yeah.
Alright. Shall pick up as much as he can.
Which is actually, at least it's something bulky part of it, because there's all sorts of loose appendages, eyes, stalks, and everything like that. But you'd be able to pick up a huge chunk, given that ants can lift heavy things.
Yeah.
What do you think the
Now
other ants? What do you think the other ants are gonna think about this situation? This worker ant comes back with a fucking frog hemoth, and they're like, "Well, shit, dude."
It's
Shit.
only parts of a fire can because it was disassembled to fit in the bag.
Yeah. Like, god
Yeah.
damn. Try hard.
Try hard. Yeah, so now that I have food, time to go and ask, I guess, where food is. Or where we store the food.
Yeah. So you leave your companions behind and approach the entrance to the large building. And you make out some kind of writing on it, but it's in a language you don't recognize. Uh, Kind of like that. It's the same sort of writing that you saw on the slab up in that taller building.
Alright.
And the several large guard ants types. No Vax, don't touch that. Uh, starts to come down towards you, seeming to check you out. Their antennae whirring. What do you do?
I will let them do their thing.
Okay.
Still holding all the food.
We spend what feels like a minute moving around you, running their antenna across you, and finally backing up and allowing you to enter the nest.
Alright. Step 1. Time to figure out where the food is somehow.
Inside, of course, it's just as dark as the outside. You see what looks like dirt-filled corridors going east and west. Occasionally, there are little passageways that have less dirt in them, all heading north. Like small passages that one of the larger giant ants can't fit through, but a smaller giant ant, like the ones that you fought up in that skyscraper, uh, could probably
Can.
fit into, which I believe is your size at the moment. Yes.
Yeah, I mimic what we fought.
Yeah. So you would be able to enter into those passages, no problem. But it looks like those are like the lesser traveled ones. There's more metal poking forward and less dirt. It's as if like over time somebody, or probably the ants themselves, brought dirt into an existing metal structure and just uh filled everything they could easily with it, leaving a lot of the like smaller rooms and such open.
Alright, so can I smell food other than the food I'm holding in the tunnel?
Roll me a survival check.
Survival? Alright. Eh.
You pick up a faint food trail heading towards the west.
Alright, I shall follow the faint food trail.
Carrying your part of their partial Fraghemoth corpse, you start heading to the west, all the way to the edge of the tunnel, where it opens up into a much larger section filled with dirt, swarming with various guard ants and workers. You go through that, heading north for a bit until the wide passage just continues to head east, and you start moving that direction. Eventually, it canters to the north again. Once more, you see smaller, tinier passages leading east and west in various points, probably into what used to be rooms. Uh, but this section is very wide and open. Eventually, you come to an area that has many guard ants just kind of standing around and watching, and you see the biggest ant you've ever seen there in the middle of the corridor, covered, or at least the back half of it, covered in worker ants, much like yourself. Uh, this appears to be the queen, and the worker ants are gathering up eggs as she lays them, and are heading out a corridor towards the east. You, meanwhile, are being drawn a bit northward with your food supply.
Alright. expect to queen this early.
Well, it's actually not early. You've been wandering around a
Yeah,
little bit through the things.
yeah, but yeah, still gonna follow the food trail.
Yeah, now you seem to be in the water area. There's a bunch of rooms that are opening up off this path, east and west at various points, and there appears to be food deposited in different places along this area, and more up to the final north, where there's a much larger area that's filled with food, and also swarming with more worker ants. You didn't get a good look in the little rooms, but as you the overwhelming scent of the food is all the way to the north, basically the full other side of the building from any of your companions.
I mean, I can always check the smaller room on my way back.
Mm-hmm. So you get up there and deposit your treat somewhere in the pile. All right.
In the pile, just
Yeah, and another worker ant comes by and moves it to probably an area where decaying meat is being stored to grow to grow fungus and such. But it carries
good
it off.
meat.
Roll a survival check.
Another survival.
All right. So you start poking your head into each of the little rooms, east and west, until you finally you see uh, a figure that seems to have been surrounded in let's see what the proper term. It's not exactly resin because that's hardened tree sap, but it's a resin-like substance, most likely produced by the ants. Uh, that seems to have held an unlucky dwarf sailor in place, and they're just like just kind of stuck into this goop ball, and is kind of staring out blankly into the darkness, which also includes you.
Do they look like our crew?
Yes, this seems to be one of three of them.
Only one.
It's one of the rooms. There's multiple rooms here.
Alright. Come back. Keep checking our rooms.
All right. It takes you a few more minutes, but you finally locate the other two. They're all still alive, and they're all in similar states, currently encapsulated, except for their heads, which seem to be popped out for breathing.
There's no way we're getting out. Well, I know where they are now.
Now, here's an interesting point. Each of these bundles are probably something you could lift one at a time.
True, but the fact is I'll be taking food out of the hut. Out of
Yes,
the
this
nest.
is true. So it's up to you as to how you wish to do this.
Out of it. Um, I have to go through the queen area to get out.
This is true.
So, I'm just gonna make my way back to the group.
Okay.
There's no way I'm gonna be able to carry one of them out without getting sicked on by literally every.
All right. You eventually make your way back out. You've now been in the city for nearly an hour, which means that spells are very close to dropping For those of you with concentration for an hour.
How long was he in there?
He's probably in there for at least 20 minutes.
Okay.
Maybe 30.
Hmm. So just so he doesn't have to drop. Wait, has he come back out to us? Before I ask what I'm about to ask.
I don't know. Have you, Rick?
Yeah, like I would have made my way to him when I got out.
And you just see a worker ant coming out of that hive.
Kurt recognizes it.
Hey, Amunet.
Yeah.
Another idea. So he doesn't have to drop his form. Can you use your orb to talk to him?
To talk to
Is that
Char.
Yeah, is that possible?
Yeah, what do you want me to say?
Just to ask him what he saw?
Sure.
I'm just saying that way he doesn't have to drop his form, because I don't know how long it lasts, but I'm sure he can only do it so many times a day.
I scry on Char.
And there's kind of like a moment of double vision since he's directly there in front of you.
Can you tell us what you saw, even though you're right here?
Yeah, I will describe that I had to go through the queen's room to get to where I saw them,
She'll relay that information.
and that there were at the near the entrance 2 other ways I didn't go.
I don't think I speak ant.
Do you have to know the language?
Yeah, I mean,
Or
it's like I'm just talking through the item. I don't think I can talk to him.
Is it not telepathic?
Let me see. I genuinely don't know.
Hmm.
No, it is telepathic. Yeah, you're right.
Woo!
Woohoo!
hip
That
hip
would have been awkward.
hooray! that would have been really awkward.
She relays that to the group.
So they're in there.
They are. How to get them out?
Smash, smash.
Based off the layout, did they appear close to the surface of the hive? As something that we can break into?
The hive seems to be contained within the big building here.
Okay.
And all the dirt's on the inside. From the outside, it just looks like a building.
Yeah.
I see what you're getting at, though.
Mm.
Could we make
If
an
I have-
entrance?
If I had time to rest, if worst came to worst, I can always, give flight, and I have Dimension Door as well. That's a get out of jail free card for some of them. The issue is I can only get one at a time. What do you guys think?
Do we have any way to dig into a building?
I mean, these buildings are made of steel. If they were made of earth, I could, but not this material.
Have you never seen Avatar? Multi-Earth in the metal.
Look, I would love to have that work like that, but it doesn't.
Well, I wasn't
Airbender.
necessarily saying dig like into Earth. If we have any tools or weapons that can bust down a wall, even if it's made out of metal. But that would draw attention, but it might be less attention than if we went right through the queen's room.
Hmm.
As I look at my inventory.
Hmm. Mm, I have something we could use to hide from the ants, but I have nothing that could get us through the wall.
I have a shovel, so dirt wouldn't be much of an issue
I mean, dirt would not be an issue, but
without using any magic or issues. I'm just saying.
I saw
don't
that
have a-
Galadriel picked up that pickaxe earlier.
This might be a dumb idea, but we can get Char can get past the wall without a problem, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, what if we went with Char?
They would smell us.
What if they couldn't?
You want to
Uh,
put us in the mirror?
mm, that's also an option. I was thinking of a bag of holding more. But the mirror, we can go in the bag of holding.
Make an intelligence check.
Bryson's already like, no, that's a dumb idea.
Yeah.
Curtis already like, no.
People that are considering the idea of the bag of holding will be giving you an intelligence check right now.
I mean, I know we have in about a few
Oxygen.
minutes, yeah, but we have like 10 minutes
One,
divided.
Yeah.
2, 3,
Yeah.
4, 5,
Well, there's
6.
also there's also the
Divided
weight
about the
limit.
amount of
There's
people.
also the fact that it took at least 10 minutes to get to wherever he was going in there with all the ants and squeezing through tunnels.
There's also 6 of us, and I'm sure all of us are over 100 pounds each.
And don't forget about the Warforged.
I'm just talking about the people that need to breathe.
Yeah.
We would have about a minute of air each.
Hmm.
And there's at least a 20-minute, 10-minute in, 10-minute out. Anyways, what were you talking about? A pickaxe? I don't know how effective that'd be against metal, but
Kurt with equipment is 322 pounds.
Yeah,
That's quite a lot.
before we go
Dwarves.
in there, I honestly would like to rest because I don't feel comfortable going in there on empty. But that also gives me time to, one, identify this pickaxe because it seems a little odd.
Hello, former miner.
All right, I'll hand him the pickaxe and then pop a squat.
Kurt, you take a look at the pickaxe and suddenly realize this pickaxe is made of adamantium.
Fancy pickaxe. Adamantium.
Hmm.
Special grade.
What does that do compared to a normal pickaxe, if I may ask? I'm not a miner.
More.
Like it could punch through a metal wall with enough effort?
You could puncture a wall, yeah.
I like that option.
Hey, Char. Let's say each click is 20 feet. How high up would you estimate the dwarves were?
They aren't high at all. This building isn't tall.
Okay,
This
so
building
down.
is wide
Okay,
and long. It is
Okay.
it is a big square basically.
okay. Did they seem near an edge or were they pretty deep in there? One click edge, two clicks deep in there.
They were near, at least near the back.
Yeah, you since you're asking me now with that information, yeah, you remember that the food most of the food pantry was down at the very edge of the wall. They were slightly more in, but they weren't flush with the wall. They were in one of the rooms just beyond that. But
Yeah, but not by much.
they're basically
So
just
just one
south
click.
of the northern wall.
Okay. So if we're quick, we could go to that portion of the wall, punch a hole, grab them, and run.
We get a quicker exit and less room to run through.
And, well, I know you have flight. I
And to be
know.
honest, what would you do if a bunch of invaders invaded your home? You'd want to
Attack.
protect your queen too, so some of your guards would stay behind. Whereas if we ran through the queen's quarters, we would have to fight those as well. So at least we won't be fighting all of their forces.
What if we light a fire?
That's what I was thinking as well, but it's also slightly uncomfortable with it. These creatures are just surviving.
What about a distraction
mean-
on one side?
I'm quite fine with these creatures surviving. I mean, they're just minding their own business here. They might be like the last of their species as well. I don't know.
I just had an option or an idea.
Also, now that I think about it, fire might like create smoke, and I don't think we're gonna have much air. So
There is another idea there, though. Beekeepers, they smoke them out to sedate them, essentially.
yeah, but
If we light a fire, would these ants run to it, or would they run away? For example, prioritizing the queen and the hatchery. Would they run to protect and move those if we set a fire near ourselves? Or would they charge it to put it out? What are they capable of?
I don't know, but
Question.
I'm scared of suffocating.
Here's one idea. And I know splitting up is never always a good idea. But what if we had a smaller extraction team? And a group that was designed more to assault the front. Make them think we were attacking from the front.
So
Pull
we're
them
not
first.
picking our way through.
No. One group picks way through while another group pulls forces away from the back.
Oh,
They move
all
to
right.
attack the group that is attacking them. They don't realize they're being dug in from behind.
Hmm.
And honestly, if we dig a hole, Cha could go in. If they don't realize it's been dug in, he could go in further and grab and pull out.
Yeah, he could pull them out.
We would just need someone to build a group that can defend themselves on both ends.
Well, you can leave the digging to me.
I mean, I'm perfectly fine if I have a distraction.
It'd be very resource intensive.
It would.
But I have an idea.
Shoot.
I'm not sure if we should waste another hour, though.
I mean, I've been chilling here for a good 20 minutes. I don't know. I don't know about you. I mean, at the end of the day,
By the way, at this point, with all your discussion going on, whatever spell duration that pink was listed as an hour is now gone. The concentration spell, whatever concentration spells were an hour at the start of this session, are now gone.
I have no clue what he had, but
Interesting. I refresh my Roll20. It wasn't letting me move my character or even interact with it.
Well, if you can show me the place where I need to dig, I'll dig there. Cha, you head inside. Try to stay close to the captives. The rest of you, make noise.
okay.
Probably gonna take a while to dig through. I mean, this pickaxe pick through most of things, but
Hmm.
don't know how thick it is.
Yeah. I wish I had some kind of amp for you.
I have
But I got
these
nothing.
flexus muscles.
If you're desperate, you could use one of those mushrooms.
Mm.
Yeah, for whatever
How
reason, I
many do you
can't
have?
interact with this token at all.
What'd you say, Evil?
I can't interact with my token at all to
Yeah,
edit
it
it.
was a big. Was
Let
it
me
because
check.
it was?
Let me check your token. I'm not seeing anything odd that would keep you from using it. Say see edit plating GM notes. I do expect you can now put GM notes on the individual tokens. It's kind of cool.
Yay for updates.
But yeah, I don't know what to tell you, unfortunately, Bryson.
Yep,
Relog?
I just did that.
Hmm.
And the other thing I can think to do is to delete your token and put down a new one. Think.
Yep, there you go. Now I can actually move it.
Yeah.
That was weird. It's like the token became desynced.
Right, so I know my plan is simple, but I mean, your plan, but me executing of it.
Yeah.
I think we should rather do it now than later. Because it's still going to take some time for me to dig through.
Hey, Grizz.
Yes.
I didn't make a note of it, but I can't remember with 100% certainty if I did. Did I already use the charge off my Rod of the Pact Keeper? I think I did.
I don't
What?
remember. I don't have
Seen
a
you
note
use-
about it, unfortunately.
You're
The
good.
only time I've seen you use it was when we were all poisoned, but that was like before a long rest.
That was a previous day. So
I mean,
I don't recall you using it before. After
if I
that.
still have it, then I'll definitely be using that right now.
That's just for my. I don't remember you using it. That's my thing.
Yeah.
I always have all my things marked. I have so many. I have like 8 things to keep.
What'd you say? You have what?
is that
I have
just for
8
this
things
game?
I keep track of.
Or are you talking about in general across games?
No, just for like this
Grayson?
character's
Wow.
like how many things he has that have like recharges.
Okay.
Key, action surge, second wind, arrows, hacks.
Yeah, well, your character sheet has all that stuff on there. That's one of the great things in Roll20. It actually shows you all those things on the side.
Mm-hmm.
So it's easy to keep track of
Now
your
that-
use.
If you want anybody defending part, we could also send someone there too, to be fair.
Oh, if any of the ants or something else wants to cause me trouble whilst I'm wielding an adamantine pickaxe, go ahead. Doesn't just pick through metal.
Fair, I suppose. Alright. So do we have any oppositions to this point?
Wait a minute. Kurt, that mark that you do,
Mm-hmm.
does that give you like a supernatural sense of where they are, or does that just help you track them?
It tells
Like when
me
they leave a
track them.
trail. Damn.
Mm-hmm. No, it does not allow me to divine areas.
I was thinking it'd be very convenient if you could mark him. He walks to the spot, and you literally just walk to the closest point and start punching through.
Yes, that would be convenient.
Yeah. Mm.
You can mark him. I mean it.
And it does that for you? Your castigation.
Oh, that's right.
Wait, do you have to shoot him, or could you just punch him?
I mean, it sounds good to me. Let's do it.
Could you flick him in the ear aggressively, or do you have to hit him with your special weapon?
Jar, fire or lightning.
1 click for fire, 2 click for lightning.
3 clicks.
No free clicks.
Both of them.
No free clicks.
In the eyes.
It's just to use a blood curse, so is that not technically the, or is that, are you talking about the elemental ones? I'm not. I've never played a blood hunter.
You have to use the Crimson Right.
Crimson Right. Okay. But yeah, that would. She could go with Kurt, and we can get an exact location to dig.
No, wait, no. We don't want to shoot Kurt. We have to shoot Char.
Yeah, Char's going inside.
Yeah. So
Char's
we shoot
temporary
Char,
help anyway. It's
marking
fine.
him, and that'll give you like a magical sonar to where you guys can go to the
Come here, Ant-Man.
Ant-Man. Prepare to meet a prepare to meet Yellow Jacket.
Come here, Ant-Man. Yes, 1 or 2 clicks.
Fire, 2 click lightning. We got to do it. I'm sorry.
Should I hold him
3
down?
clicks.
Shoot one of his antennas so he can pretend to be injured.
No. You said 2 clicks.
The lightning. Oh.
Ow.
It still rolled a lot, but could have been worse.
Seeing all those dice fly past, it's like.
Yeah.
I'm just glad she didn't accidentally roll sharpshooter.
Oh goodness. Oh right.
Plus psychic. I don't know how much health my ant had.
Oh, shit.
Chris?
I think she's too busy laughing at the fact that we're shooting our
Yeah.
friend for science.
I just think it's very funny. Let's see. Just how many does the giant ant have? Oh, interesting. Here's my monster list. Yeah, you're fine. That wasn't that much damage.
You could take a 13. It's fine.
Actually, yeah, it's a 13. Yeah, sorry. For some reason, I thought that one thing was a 10.
Alright. I guess it's time to go back where the should.
So you go back to navigating the inside of the ant nest.
And Kurt and Aminette are walking around the outside whilst Aminette is working like a compass.
Looks that way.
The rest of us
Nice.
play with the ants.
Then we go to the entrance and start making noise.
I think we'll give them some time to get around.
Hmm. Hey, Grizz, real quick, how large does this building appear? Like a city block, or
It's definitely a city block. It's the center building of the city from the look of things, and it is definitely the largest, not the tallest, but the largest a building in the city.
To be fair, I mean, it could also let us know when they're in position.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of. Like, just because, out of curiosity, is this place quiet enough but echoey enough we could hear when they start doing their thing? Like
No.
if a pickaxe were to impact this metal building, would it echo a city block, through like a canyon?
It might, simply because there's not much in the way of ambient noise other than the ants themselves
Mhm.
in the area due to it being underground.
I was saying too, we could start a racket before they hit because I mean, it could use their thing to talk to us.
You could.
So like, as soon as you two get over there, you can be like, scry to like one of us that are in the position to attack, and then we can attack, cause noise, and hopefully mask the infiltration. Fair enough. So basically, once you're in position, to let us know.
So, Amunet is scrying. Got it.
So you guys can walk over there and then scry once you get there to have a signal.
Yeah. Kind of like almost like using it like kind of like a walkie-talkie.
I'm very concerned.
Oh, what's the worst that could happen?
We get swarmed and eaten alive by an ant's nest the size of a city block.
And that's where the fun happens.
All right, let's do this.
There is a flaw that players aware to. For Bryson, he loves a good fight. The more difficult it is, the more fun. So good luck. It's fine.
All right. Go on, you two. Go meet up with Char. Start punching a hole.
Well, I'd prefer you probably should use the pickaxe, but you know, if you want to punch, it's up to you.
Give Kurt enough to drink, and I'm sure he'd be able to.
Dwarf wall punching. Lovely.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I can actually see that. How'd you mind this tunnel? I punched it.
Wait, this part
John Henry. Dual wield pickaxe or sledgehammer.
Alright.
Sorry, I was not looking at my screen for a second. I was listening though. I was writing.
Mm.
Okay, so Kurt is guiding. Kurt is making sure she doesn't step oddly on anything.
Yep. Make sure she doesn't step into an ant's nest.
Mm-hmm.
And what is
Walk around ants nest.
Char doing?
I'm making my way to where the crew is.
Idiots.
Well, yeah, idiots. That works.
The Three Stooges.
Abbott and Costello.
They're just getting more and more caught in the webs and the webs.
No webs
Wait,
here.
how were they kept?
Like almost like a resin-like substance.
Oh, right. Resin.
It was an ant excretion that acts like resin.
It's like regurgitated paste that they use to make their hives.
Yep, exactly. It's also good for storing things like that.
That want to run away.
Yes, exactly.
All right. So, we're basically waiting for Amina to give the go
Mm-hmm.
for the others when she knows that Shah is in position.
And knows that you're in position, basically.
All right.
Yeah, she'll do that.
All right. You never split the party unless you need to enter an ant-hive.
That's gonna be a new saying. Only split the party when ants are involved.
All right.
What I'm wondering is what are the odds that Kurt will accidentally punch through into the ant toilet, run into a piss ant.
So, Kurt, because of that, I would like you to roll me a survival check once the other parties are now in position. All right. Good. I know where you're digging in.
This is the point where Kurt thinks he maybe should have told the people that he wasn't a particularly good miner.
Too late.
So, Char, you've made it back into the building and gone back into the food storage, where again, numerous ants are currently there, moving food around. Some of them putting some of the food into sections where fungus is growing. Some carrying it out again. What are you doing?
I'm gonna just wait for stuff to start happening. Once there's some distraction, I will probably start moving the crew sailors closer to the edge.
Okay. And what is Team Distraction doing?
That's what I was thinking.
Uh-huh.
Because we need to distract them in a way that doesn't get us killed.
I mean,
I will throw down a card. If I have these deck with cards, they might be enough to fool the ants for a bit.
you can also zap them with lightning. If that is also needed to keep their attention.
Something I'm wondering, though, that may work, may not work. Does anyone here have a bottle of oil? Like flammable oil?
I don't.
Actually, I would not. I have.
Okay. I'm just wondering because
I have a tinderbox and torches.
I was wondering because like, now that she's on the other side.
You asked.
True.
And I have it.
Yeah. I'm not saying that against you. It just amuses me that bad timing to ask on my part.
And Kurt's over there too, so he's far away from you.
But yeah, I'm just thinking.
Not everyone just read it.
The resin stuff they mentioned, if it's made out of like wood pulp, that stuff could go up like that. I have magic that can start a fire. We can create a hell of a distraction and possibly something that keeps them off of us a little bit longer.
Does anyone have a magnifying glass?
No, but I have a fireball and I can light a campfire.
Oh, yes. Oh my god.
We're underground. We
Now
see
you
the
just
sun.
need to find the sun.
Oh, we need to find the sun.
I cast
Quick.
light.
Where is
That's
Sir
Lancelot.
Lancelot when you need him?
We need the sun.
Oh my god, could we do that? Could Lancelot hold up his sun sword and then use the crystal ball?
It's too bad he stayed back in Orin.
Oh, fuck.
Unfortunately. Oh well.
I mean, we'll do it. I mean, whatever you guys want to do. Like, I can light fucking torches and drop them from above. Or you can ignite things, or I can just whatever you guys want to do.
I like the fact that Kurt also has a torch dock that that they could have had. That would definitely burn. God, I need to go back to the underdog and get more mushrooms. They're great. I love the mushrooms.
You'll be going back eventually.
Okay, the song change, I approve.
Oh, I love it.
In Char's mind. Oh my god, this is...
We are also...
Okay, I don't want to jinx us, but this is like a heist, guys.
No, don't say that.
Don't put that out in the ether.
It exactly is like a heist.
No, it ain't.
But rather than stealing something, you are rescuing
We need...
3
I feel like we
sailors.
need more heists.
No.
You know how our first heist went?
Performance.
Your GM
Perfectly.
approves. And this is different characters.
And also to be fair, we wanted to make a more noisy distraction to cover up the banging that they're going to be making. Keep that in mind.
That is just like something from an Ocean's 11 film or something.
Oh, I can do that. 1 second.
Oh my gosh.
Except there's only 7 of you.
Asking you shouldn't
8
receive.
8 if you include.
Oh, are we
Ray.
the Ocean's 11? Are we
You're
the
more like
underdog
Ocean's 8,
7?
I'm just.
because you've also got the Warforged. The Warforged makes 8.
Yeah, the underdog 8.
Oh, good enough.
There we go.
Okay, I'll leave it up to the Clay and Calger what Bryson will do. Bryson will do what they want.
We need more heists.
Heist.
God, should I just run a group and do the dragon heist?
Yes.
And everyone can be as silly as possible.
I want to play it.
Ugh. Oh my god.
So,
No.
what sort of distraction are you guys making for this?
The resin stuff, does it go to the outside of the what's it called? Does it go to the outside of the hive at all?
No. The only places that the resin was seen was in the food. Was with the food.
Okay.
Yeah. It's just dirt and metal.
Mm-hmm. The building itself is metal, and there's dirt all through it, brought in by the ants.
I know. Let's see here. I would like. I'd like to pick up a rock.
Okay, that's doable.
And with said rock, is there a way that I could use prestidigitation to basically try to recreate the danger odor and put it on that rock to throw it at the entrance of the hive?
Detected that odor. You aren't aware of it. Only Char is aware of it.
Okay. I thought he had told us about that scent, but he might not have.
Well, I mean, describe it.
You
How
never
does strawberries smell?
Even if he mentioned a scent, you have no way of knowing what it smells like because you can't detect it.
You know what? I'm just gonna open my ever smoking bottle.
You have an ever smoking bottle?
Yes,
Dramatic. I like it.
I'm pretty sure that's gonna freak the ants out.
I would say so.
And the smoke would obscure their sense of pheromone thing, I think.
All right. Can you display the text of the ever smoking bottle for me, please?
Wait, give me a second.
Yeah, I can allow that. The fact that the smoke not only would obscure vision, which you guys rely on, but also would dampen down on pheromones. The only thing it doesn't do anything for it doesn't do anything for tremor sense. It doesn't do anything um for detecting people via hearing.
Yeah.
It makes everything heavily
But it is
obscured.
smoky.
The question is, where are you putting this ever smoking bottle?
I will put it close to the entrance, right?
We could have Carrie fly it over.
Sure. Oh, wait, I have a perfect idea.
Hmm.
I'm just gonna go to the entrance, cast rope trick. I'm gonna climb up.
You are going to the entrance?
I mean, I'm gonna get within. How far does the ever smoking bottle this thing go?
120 feet radius.
Each minute, it increases by 10 feet up to a maximum of 120.
Yeah, I'm gonna go like within 60 feet. Can I get within 60 feet without triggering an ant attack?
You don't know.
You know what? Let your bird fly it over. I don't want to die.
Oh, I
Yeah.
die.
I do
Yep.
kind of want it back though.
Get
Understood.
it later.
So yeah, with that, we'll unstop the bottle and fly it over via Carrie, and I'll have her drop it in front of the entrance.
There's a smoke trail.
All right. It's now smoking and obscuring that entrance. What do you guys wish to do?
Do we think the smoke is going to sedate them?
Sedate them?
He's thinking of like smoking out
Like bees and stuff?
bees. I doubt
You
it.
have no way of knowing what other effects it might
I
have.
wasn't asking you. I was asking the
Oh,
group for their
sorry,
input.
thought you were talking
You're
out of
good.
Yeah,
character.
no. I don't think it would, but I think it will like make him angry and go to the front at least.
Good. They could be confused if it obscures whatever smells they use.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Or as Bryson here is itching to do, we could just go down there and shoot some of them.
Now I can't see in there.
What'd you say?
Now I can't see. More fun, I suppose.
Hmm.
I mean, you just need to put the stopper on it and it will dissipate. If you want, I can summon a dragon or a kobold. I don't know. I can summon something.
If you want, I could just cast lightning blindly where they last were standing. That would get their attention.
True.
And I believe it is 100-foot line, so I don't think it's that close.
But line yourself up at the entrance and just rocket through. That definitely get their attention.
He'll kind of float toward the entrance to get so he can.
Okay. There's currently smoke completely obscuring the entrance and a little bit around the outside.
Kind of generally where the entrance was. Can he Just
Make a
send a
survival
line
check
of
to see
lightning.
if you remember exactly where the entrance is compared to the rest of the ground. Yep. All right.
You'll try to toss a lightning bolt, just general.
How far away did you say you were? You said something like 60 feet.
100.
Oh, so you're a perfect 100 feet away from the entrance.
No, I'm only gonna be like maybe like 60 feet, so I go 40 feet down the water hallway if it goes.
Well, it's not a hallway. It's a street. Because
Well,
you didn't say you were going
thought
into the entrance. You said you were looking for the entrance and we're going to shoot lightning where you remember the entrance to be. Now that it's completely obscured with the smoke.
But it's a
Yes.
100-foot line and he's 60 feet away. So if it's a straight shot through the entrance,
I thought
it's
you
going
said
40 feet inside the
Yeah,
entrance.
that's what I was asking. It's like
That's what I'm
where are
doing.
you? So you're 60 feet away from where you think the
About,
entrance is.
yeah. So I'm like right at the edge of the smoke.
Okay. Where's the rest of you?
I am ready to start blasting.
Because I know Char is inside. No, but in relationship to where the entrance is, and the relationship to where
Oh,
Bryson
wait.
is, where are you?
Honestly, I don't know. I just kind of was at an arbitrary distance away, but I'd want to be somewhat near Bryson, like within 30 feet,
Okay.
probably behind him.
Okay, you're behind
So
him. Got it.
so should something happen, I
Clay,
can
what about
hasty
you?
exit.
I'm probably far away from the entrance. Let's say I'm 60 feet behind whoever's in front.
Okay, so you're getting kind of midway down the street going south. What do you think Pink and 83 are? Person who agreed to control them?
Going pink, I'd say somewhere between me and Bryson.
Okay.
So like right there.
Alrighty. Yeah, so Bryson, you fire off a lightning bolt, you hear ricochet against something, and nothing. You don't hear any sounds of it hitting anyone or anything. Just walls.
This isn't going very well, is it?
Do we just go in there and go loud? Obviously, we can't do it for very long.
It might be good to get rid of this smoke.
Does Kurt hear the commotion?
Make a perception check. You seem to be too far away to hear that.
Do you want me to put a stopper on that smoke bottle?
We'd have to go over to it.
I didn't ask if that was an issue. I said, do you want me to?
I mean, do we need to? Is it having an effect on the ants? Can you tell?
He looks at the smoke. Looks at.
Can you tell? Heavily obscured.
I can't. Maybe he has some special sight I don't know of. God knows.
I don't. I can't see for heavy obscure. There's nothing that does.
Bryson, you walk through the smoke and bank. You seem to bounce off of a wall. It was much closer than you thought it was.
I'm gonna.
Maybe the bottle makes a sound. Can you hear it?
Bottle.
What? It could be the when the bottle comes or the smoke comes out of the bottle. It can make a shh sound like little smoke bombs.
The hunt for the bottle.
I didn't even create this puzzle. It's a puzzle the players created for themselves.
I'm gonna try to find the bottle, I guess.
All right.
What is going on? I mean, this has been taken for us. I haven't really.
Yeah, Kurt, you noticed that there's no sound coming from the other side of the building. Far longer than you expected. You expected to barely get over there by the time that they started making noise. They're
Yeah.
very quiet. This is disturbing. Probably disturbing to Amunet as well, since
Well, she's scrying on one of us, so she sees this
that's a
bullshit.
good point.
happening.
She's probably
she's
judging
scrying
us
on
very
Char.
heavily.
I thought she was scrying on Char.
No, she has the hex, right? Or is it blood curse?
She's using the mark of castigation on Char and
on Char.
scrying on us when she needs to talk to us.
Yeah, then she's just seeing Bryson vanish into the smoke and a muffled thump coming from that direction through the scry.
She's the poor schmuck in World War I that has to carry the big bag with the wire to radio back mid-fight.
Yeah.
How does I find bottle?
What is the expression?
Roll investigation.
It's gone to tits.
So Kurt, that's pretty much what you're hearing Amunet say. It's like, or she's shaking her head, or she's just groaning. Any one of those.
She'll
things-
relay everything that's happening.
Okay, yeah, that you know
God
that your
fucking damn
companions,
it.
your companions are idiots.
Make loud noise.
That's what
Fuck
Bryson wants to
with
do.
Bryson
ants.
isn't finding the bottle anywhere.
I find this bottle, I'm breaking it.
Can't you talk to them? Oh, you can't hear me. Sorry.
He's lost.
Yeah, I can.
And nobody can
Oh,
see
you can
him.
hear me?
Yeah, I'm not. It's not my familiar. I'm talking to a
Oh.
crystal ball.
All right.
What do you want me to tell him?
Just tell them to get on with it. I'm ready with the pickaxe.
All right, I say that to the group. Get on with it. Kurt's ready with the pickaxe.
Which one of them are you scrying on? Just to be clear.
I am scrying on the group at the bottle.
Which one of them in particular?
Oh, I don't know. I'll roll D3.
You have to pick one.
1 D3. We'll go for 1 for Quentin, 2 for Fluffy, 3 for Caladriel. Caladriel.
Okay. So you see Pink, you see 83. You do not see Bryson anywhere anymore. He vanished into the smoke and hasn't come back out.
Oh, she says what she does to Caladriel.
Right, working on it. Yeah, fine. I will walk into the smoke.
Survival check. You bump into a worm squirming body on your way into the smoke. Bryson, something has just slammed into you.
Hey, Bryson, I found you. You're not touching the wall, are you?
Well, over that direction. Well, you can probably tell in the pointing. This was the stupidest idea I've ever heard.
Right, well, I'm gonna keep walking to the wall.
And bump, you collide with the wall, just as Bryson had done.
So I'm uncertain what's gonna work, but I'm just gonna try shocking grass at the wall real quick. See if anything gets zapped.
Alright.
Wind blow away this fucking smoke.
So I was waiting for you to cast Sucking Grasp.
Yep. Trying to get it to click. There we go.
Alright. So you reach out to touch the wall, and the Shocking Grasp rebounds directly back into your hand, causing you
Wait.
4 points of lightning damage.
It does?
Yes, it does.
It doesn't do that if I hit someone with metal armor.
That is
Weird.
correct. that is that it happens to be a special feature of whatever alloy is that these walls are made up of.
Should
And
ask Kurt to keep some of the alloy with him.
Keep looking for this fucking smoke bottle.
Yeah.
Investigation.
breaking it.
Versus-
Fucking hell.
Nice.
Hey.
So you scoop past the entrance of the building. You feel that to your side as the metal drops away, and you continue on. And finally, you discover the bottle on the other side, just as poor Caladriel is reeling from electrocuting himself.
I'll put a stopper back in so it goes away.
As soon as how long does it take the smoke to dissipate after the ever-smoking bottle is tapered?
It should say on an item.
Can you
Disperses
repost that
after
again,
10 minutes.
please?
Cloud disperses after 10 minutes.
Okay, 10 minutes. So
Oh,
the smoke
wow.
pad's still there. Good.
That's much for ever smoking.
I mean, it's still smoking. You just stopped it from smoking.
Okay, that's good because that means that the guard ants still haven't detected you because you're clouded in the smoke. Soft boy. Oh, you're so silky.
We might need to head in if we're wanting to do anything.
Yes, everyone inside.
I'm imagining Curtis like standing there with the pickaxe going, now? And I'm not going,
I'm
not
thinking
yet.
that Pink and 83 are just going to wait
At least-
outside because 83 can't sneak through that stuff.
At least Kurt knows what's happening.
Yeah.
I'll just
Meanwhile,
float.
Char's just waiting, waiting for noise.
I will float ominously more inwards.
Oh god, they're going in.
All right.
I will follow to the best of my
Do a
ability.
survival checks, please. People who are going in.
And if I find something to hit, that's also beneficial.
Do
Right.
they understand
So
the
you
concept
avoid
of
hitting the wall.
noise?
All right. So yeah, Char is just hanging out in a room full of food and growing funguses, which probably attract your attention somewhat, Amunet. And plenty of other worker ants the same size as Char. No guard ants in that room. No soldier ants in there. And he seems to be, like I said, moving the prison the still alive prisoners out from that from the little containment areas. And where'd you say you were moving them? You're moving them into that room with the growing funguses and such.
Well, yeah, closer to it.
So
it's less of a.
he's basically picked up the three big resin things with the dwarves in them and has carried them into this room. And is basically standing guard with them, I imagine, to keep the other ants from picking them up and moving them again. And Caladriel is
Waiting.
obscured inside the mist.
Yep, I'm attempting to find the door.
You guys all managed to make it inside the complex. There's like dirt, but it's like everything's still obscured by the smoke because all the smoke drifted in there. There is a east and west immediately detectable based on the wall, thanks to Bryson finding where to go.
Cool. So, do we just shoot an ant?
You can see any ants.
All right.
You don't even see each other at this point. You're just basically somewhat hearing each other.
I will keep walking till I leave the smoke.
East or west?
Exactly.
I'll go west, and I'll call that out to the group.
All right. Start heading in a westerly direction. And you spot another one of those worker ants that you fought earlier on. Kind of like it's going up to the side of the smoke, bumping up against it for a moment, and then turning around and starting to scurry down another passageway. What do you do?
I will shoot at it.
All right. Make an attack roll.
Let's see here. And I'm sure it knows where I am, so no advantage. Ba-bam. Ba-bam.
All right. So here's what happens next. It seems to make a weird squealing noise. There is a moment where it sounds like it's echoing through the various dirt-packed chambers. Char, from your perspective, after a moment later, there is a resounding roaring, almost like not exactly a roaring noise, but the high-pitched equivalent of it that your currently ant-like brain is processing as emergency frequency and an instant mobilization.
I've done it now.
A lot of the worker ants around you have stopped picking up the food and are immediately rushing out through the southern tunnel. The ant that you just shot has turned around and is heading straight towards you.
Okay, I'll begin running back the way I came, attempting to go outside. Attempting.
What are the other two that are currently in the smoke doing?
Once I heard the screeching, I'm like, well, now we got their attention. Let's get out of the smoke outside.
And Clay?
While also making noise over the ants hear us.
Clay?
Quentin,
Quentin?
What?
what are you doing?
Oh no, Clay's just standing back. He doesn't want to walk into an anthill. He's
so
good.
he's back with Pink. Okay.
Yeah, I'm keeping an eye out for if like any major ant war walks in here or something. You know, I'll let you guys know. But I'm not.
Well, we're exiting currently.
Okay, so I need
Yeah.
I need Clay and Bryson to both roll me survival checks. All right. You both collide with walls just as a swarm of ants makes its way into these tunnels, and they are randomly biting. To determine how many of them hit you, I'm going to roll. Let's see here. I'm going to make 5 attack rolls all at once. For each of you. So this one will be for Bryson.
Hey, look, one of them hit.
Yeah, so it didn't grapple you, but you did feel it biting down on you at random. They are having a hard time detecting you, but they know that there's something squishy in the way, and you just fell, and there's a whole swarm of them. And the next bites are all aimed at aimed at Caladriel. 18, 22, 21, 15, and 11.
Okay,
The first 3 hit.
I'm gonna use shields, so I only get hit.
You didn't get hit. You're outside.
This is
Oh.
Caladriel.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
These two fell into the hive when there's a bunch of ants now swarming into these tunnels.
Oh, right. Were you calling for me to make a survival as well? Or I thought that was for Clay.
Yeah,
I'm
I
sorry.
heard you say Clay and Bryson, and I was
Sorry,
so
I meant to say
confused.
Bryson and Caladriel. Sorry, I thought I said my bad.
You're good.
You actually managed to stumble out the entrance before they could do that, so you don't get hit with any of that.
Okay. Yay. I don't die.
Yeah, so Bryson, you got to roll survival again, or be attacked by ants. So you managed to scramble up under your feet before any more could bite at you and run back outside as worker ants go to swarm around the entrance, with enough of them together that the ever smoking bomb is getting a bit confused, so they don't realize you've left, but they at least know sort of where they are. Meanwhile, what is Team Pickaxe doing?
Amanet's gonna assist Kurt. She's got a crowbar. She can kind of loosen Earth with.
All right. As you go to put the crowbar up against the wall, you realize that this is like no metal you've seen before, other than up in those you know, when you were descending down here. This
I mean,
metal,
she's assisted Kurt. She's not. I mean,
yeah,
she's not taking the lead on this.
yeah.
So.
What I'm trying to say is that the crowbar has no effect at all, not even to give advantage on doing anything to this metal. This metal
Cool.
just seems to be have extreme properties on it. However, the antimantum axe seems to work against it.
All
Make an
right.
attack
So
roll.
yeah. So attack roll, just
Pickaxe.
strength.
Yes.
So Kurt is gonna say, from what I understand, they seem to be having trouble over there. Go help them. I got this. And then he just eats a big wart mushroom. Giving him an extra size.
What bonus action did you want to use, Bryson?
Second wind to just heal himself a little bit.
Okay, that's fine.
Are you sure?
I got this. Been on my own before. It's fine. Help the idiots.
How far away are they?
They're a city block away, basically. The other side of the building.
Cast Expeditious Retreat.
All right. So, give me your attack roll, please, Giant Kurt.
I'll have you know, I'm just large.
He is
do
big boned.
do I get advantage because of my size?
What does it say on?
It doesn't.
Oh.
I don't know. Big wart. Should I look it up?
No, I'm just thinking. Like it's equivalent to the spell
It's the-
enlarge. So.
That
Okay,
normally
yeah,
adds a
then yes.
D4 to whatever your damage
Yeah.
would be. It does nothing to attack, but I don't know if mining is considered the exact same as combat attacks.
Enlarge
similar.
target by percent dimensions. It weighs multiplied by 8. By 8.
Yes. You're a very dense dwarf.
Well, he'll weigh over 900.
Well, they won't be able to carry you away.
Maybe 1,000.
It might take a few ants.
Answer good at that.
Until it's spent, you don't advantage on strength checks and strength saving throws. And the target weapons grow to match the new size. While the weapons are enlarged, the target's attacks will deal extra d4 damage. So, advantage.
I don't think that gives advantage. I think that just increases the damage.
Okay, but I mean, enlarge did say. All right.
Oh, it did say advantage? I thought it just
Yeah,
said... Oh,
strength
okay.
checks and strength saving throws.
Oh, okay, then yes. Sorry, my bad. I misheard that part.
Yeah. Strength check. Athletics.
Yes. And what's let's see, damage. This is an improvised weapon, so that is your strength +1.
All right. Strength +1 plus a d4.
Mm-hmm.
So, 5 d4 plus 4. D4 plus 5.
Yes. Nice. Your axe buries itself into the wall, and you can see the metal actually seems to break open at the force of the adamantine.
Kurt can do extra attack. Does that count here, or is it just an
We're
action?
not in turn. We're not in turn order, so
Okay.
go ahead.
Okay.
Jesus.
Yeah, the large dwarf is doing massive damage. breaking apart a section of the wall. Char, all of the worker ants actually have now left the food chamber, and you see something striking at the wall from the other side. You can see the tip of what looks like a pickaxe sticking through, and then it happens again, and it seems to be breaking open a seam in the wall.
All right. Time to get these sailors ready to go through the hole when it opens up.
What are the three idiots at the front doing?
Oh, the people behind me are doing, but I'm trying to make noise to keep their attention out here.
No, these are the three stooges. The three idiots are the captives.
Okay,
Yeah.
so what are the three stooges doing at the front?
I mean, there's a nice herd somewhere in where the entrance was, so if I just whip around, I could technically fire and hopefully hit something.
Yeah, there's a whole swarm of giant ants there right now, but you can't see it due to the smoke that you left behind from the ever-smoking bottle. But they also are having a difficulty time detecting you, so...
Well, I'm just going to fire some arrows into it, but I'm going to use my bonus action to do Kensai's shot.
Alright.
So it'll do an additional d4 damage as I pull out my bow. I'm just going to, I imagine, disadvantage.
Oh, that's right. Linus is the one that got the bow in the other game.
Oh. Where's my longbow? Just firing into where I hear the skittering, basically.
Alright. Clay, what about you?
I don't know. I'm just watching. I'm gonna go. Can I get over there and help?
If you want.
Yeah, I'll go over there and help.
What do you do to help?
I will throw down more things for the ants to attack, which is the first one, which will be the. Did the card show up?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, so you
I see
throw
a
on the
10
card.
I don't see it.
I see it. It's a 10.
Yeah, okay. It's the 10 of hearts. No, I need to look up which one that is.
You throw down a card, and it's a 10 of hearts. Does that card make any sound, or is it just a visual?
Just a visual, as far as I know.
Okay.
Here it is. It's the 10 of hearts, so I need to find that. The 10 of hearts is a cloud giant. So a wild cloud giant appears, hopefully distracting the ants if it fits. It probably won't fit.
So, I mean, as you're rushing
I
don't
around
know.
the side of the building, you do notice a cloud giant suddenly there, on the other side of the building somewhere. You just kind of see its head poking up over the top.
Oh, you challenge me.
Does it seem
Uh,
to distract the ants at all?
It doesn't seem to have any effect on the ants whatsoever. It
They
doesn't make a
can't
sound.
see.
I mean, oh wait. Oh, that's what you meant by sound. I think they do actually make sound.
Then what sound?
I will end you.
Check your card. See if it makes sound. That's why I was asking. Because if it doesn't make sound, then it does nothing for the ants. The ants wouldn't really notice something that's
Let
based
me
on
see.
purely on vision. Ants aren't.
Yeah,
Ants
yeah.
can see, but they don't see very well. It's kind of like humans' sense of smell. We don't
It
have the best.
behaves.
We don't have a very good sense of smell. We based we are vision first, and hearing second, and smell like third. And so if we just smelled something weird and didn't really see it or hear it,
Yeah.
we would be like, huh, okay.
I think it's the same as the major image one, so it should do sound and smell as well.
Okay. Oh, it does smell.
I think so. I mean,
Can you bring up the spell? Actually, I
It's a
can
deck
look
of
that up.
illusions, isn't it?
It's a deck of illusions.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Because I would assume it does, because else it would be pretty shitty. If it didn't make sound at all.
Illusionary creature appears real of the appropriate size, except that it can do no harm. You can see an action, interaction, any physical interaction with the illusionary creature. Okay, so I guess that's one of those. It's up to the thing, and because it specifically states behaves as if it were a real creature, it doesn't. It appears real. It doesn't say looks real. It says appears in specifics or any of those other things. So that would specify that yes, maybe it's making some kind of sound, possibly, or it also possibly has a smell and possibly stamps its feet a little bit. So it might be there.
Yeah.
It just can't harm anything.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's drawing the attention of the guard ants that weren't distracted by the ever smoking bottle.
Okay. It's very weird that I can't see the card on the screen.
I can see it. Doesn't matter. So no worries. Caladrill, what about you? What are you doing?
I will just throw more Eldritch Blasts into the area of the door.
You fire Eldritch Blasts into the smoke. Got it.
Blind fire is always fun.
Yeah.
Complete dichotomy, but that roll though.
All
That
right,
was-
back to Kurt. Make some other attack rolls for me, please.
Chimney.
Oh, hell.
So 2d4? Yay! Less than before.
Yeah, you scraped out another side, but it looks like you need at least one more hit to open the section up. That would be big enough for the dwarf prisoners.
Okay.
So,
wow.
So
I love ones.
the section of the wall falls away, and you see inside an area with a lot of bits of plant matter and fungus growing, and chunks of meat. And you see 3 dwarves covered in resin for the most part that kind of like look up at you in a bit of astonishment.
Hello, idiots.
You kind of recognize them because you've seen them in the boat before, but you don't exactly know their names.
Idiot 1, Idiot 2, Idiot 3.
You're real big.
Once
Oh,
the
really?
hole becomes open, Charles just start ferrying them out.
My ant friend will help you.
And friend will help you.
Ant, do my bidding.
Yeah, they've been kind of surprised at what's going on with
the second Kurt says that, Charles just stops, looks at him.
Please.
What was going on with that thing? We thought it was going to eat us, and then it just dragged us in here and didn't go away with the rest of the ants.
Please, Char.
Alright, and continues on. Ferrying them out.
And while you're ferrying them out, Amy, you finally reach the other side of the building, and you see a cloud giant who seems to be menacing a couple of the soldier ants. You see that their smoke is completely covering the entrance, and you see 2 of your companions firing into the smoke, and the third just the other 2 just standing there. What do you do?
She'll walk up and I guess fire at whatever ant she can see.
That would be some of the guard ants that are currently being distracted by the cloud giant.
No, she wouldn't touch those.
Okay. Then you can't see any other ants. There's just the smoke.
Cool. Then she walks up and does nothing.
All right. So Kurt and Char have rescued the sailors. What do you do now that you've gotten them out of the hive?
Are they still trapped in their
Yes.
kind of resin?
Yes, they are.
So Kurt is just carrying all 3 of them.
I'll just follow Kurt. I'll just follow Kurt.
Kurt is walking towards where the rest of the group is,
And you see
shouting, "I got them!"
seeing the very odd cloud giant that's now standing there with them. And you guys are now seeing a giant, a large Kurt holding three tracked dwarves, walking along towards you.
Well then, other than the smoke bottle, which I don't know why I agreed to. I guess it did help in the end. Shall we leave?
Now, does Kurt have any way of decreasing his size?
He does.
All
He
right.
still has 2 mushrooms to increase his size.
And what do you wish to do with the prisoners?
Well, he's gonna keep being this size until they get away from the ants.
You won't be able to get up into the building that will take you back outside. Is what I was getting
Can
at.
he get
Sorry.
all the way over there?
Yes.
And then reduce his size and free the captives?
Sure.
Right, then that's what he's going to do.
You leave behind the mysterious building that had been used as a hive in this mysterious place that you now know is called Hesnut, and head back to the strange place that you were in before. Char, are you turning back into a human?
Kind of like being an ant. Stay an ant for as long as I can.
Well, you find that it's easy enough to climb up that ladder as an ant. And is there anything else you wish to do down there before you leave?
Not Kurt.
Not
Yeah,
right.
I've got no.
All right, you carry you carry the spoils that you found in there: the 3 sailors, the pickaxe, that book, and that orb that give you information, and you leave the underground city of Hesnut. Head back up, find the hatch that you came in through, get back out of there, and start escorting your new companions back towards the ship.
So you idiots went hunting and ended up hunted.
The hatch looked like it was going to lead to the treasure or something. How
Idiots.
are we supposed to know there was giant ants down there?
Idiots.
That's smacking them, and you're just calling them idiots. I love it.
Yeah.
I will hand the smoking bottle back to Clay. Maybe
Me and Abby are just smacking them like.
maybe next time we should shoot them first and then put the smoke.
Maybe.
What took you guys so long?
Somebody wanted to use smoke screen.
I mean, I thought
All
it
right.
was no. Anyway,
Yeah.
let's get going before the ants find us.
Oh, we're going.
Yeah. Good question.
Yes. Can we close the hatch as we leave?
Yes.
Can Kurt just punt it? Just kick it closed. And if there's a lock on it, he can lock it.
Yeah, there's no lock. There was just apparently a hatch. It looks
Can you leave a
older,
large
well,
rock on it?
Sure.
There's just gonna be a rock in the middle of a forest path now. It's fine.
Mm-hmm. He carves an angry face on the rock. Yeah. Giant fucking ants.
Giant fucking ants and an angry rock on it. Bad. We have sufficiently marked the no.
No.
All right. You mark the spot. You return back to the ship, having rescued the sailors. Congratulations, guys. You did a lot of good.
Smacks the idiots again. Forever they shall be referred to as 1, 2, and 3. Idiot.
And honestly, that went really well.
Hmm.
I took 6 points of damage, but then I healed, so I'm still above my normal max.
I lost 2 mushrooms.
Fair.
I shot John.
Crit on something I couldn't even see.
So everything went well. I mean, everything went well.
I got
Everyone came
shot.
out alive.
Yeah, Char, you can say the positive thing was that you survived being shot.
You got shot, and you don't taken a single injury because
Oh,
of
yeah,
it.
that's true.
Mhm.
Only handful.
Guess what? Oh no.
Oh no.
True, because until you
Uh.
decide, it's on him forever, ain't it?
Now,
Until it's
It's-
used again, or like something.
is that a threat?
It's a promise.
Every step you
Uh,
take, every move you make,
I'll be
be
watching
watching
you.
you.
Okay. Is it okay if we end it here? Because I've
Yeah,
got to go
this
to
is
work tomorrow.
exactly where, since I need to eat dinner and I've got another game, so.
Same.
Yeah.
How
Good
we
night,
call it?
everyone.
Good
We
night.
live.
You lived. You made
We
it back
lived.
to the ship.
Mm-hmm.
It's all good for you in this one, and you found some good lore in that dungeon.
Mm-hmm.
Good night.